The Colorado Avalanche had a back-to-back this weekend. Came out successful in both attempts. Georgiev with a 29 save outing against Detroit. Wedgwood with a shutout against his former team in New Jersey. We're going to take a look at both performances, both goalies, and everyone's sound check today on Locked On Avalanche.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. I'm your host, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, with another episode of Locked On Avalanche. Thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. And don't forget to follow us on our socials. Locked On Avalanche on Twitter X, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Don't forget to email the show, lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And follow us on Subtext. Link to the show notes. Link to the subtext is in the show notes below. You could chat with Chris and I one-on-one. And we will be doing that in the third segment. We're going to be getting everybody's summary on the weekend that was and some sound checks. That'll be in our third segment. In the second segment tonight, we're going to be talking about what is going on with the goalies. Like, really solid performances by two goalies that shouldn't be this good. We're going to look at that. But let's start with the weekend that was a back-to-back that honestly, if you were watching these games, you could not tell, especially in that New Jersey game, that the Avalanche are coming off a back-to-back. Like, the Avalanche really started both games, and this is something I mentioned in both on Twitter. In both games, if you get out to a first period lead, this Avalanche team just plays so much better. And I think Georgie understood that against Detroit, and Wedgwood definitely did in New Jersey. Carried that lead all the way through, even with an empty net when Sheldon Keefe pulled a Patrick Waugh and pulled their goalie with 6 minutes to go. The Avalanche held strong. And let's start there. Let's go look at the Detroit game real quick. Leading the game off with a first period goal, Valeri Nichushkin, who has slowly been building his way back and finding his role on this Colorado Avalanche team. And we're going to talk about finding your way back and establishing your role in just a minute with another player that joined for the Devils game. But boy, Nuke is looking good out there. And that goal was assisted by Sam Girard, another guy that doesn't get enough credit on this team, and Casey Middlestead, who has been struggling and has been quiet, but he's tallied an apple in both games in the back-to-back. So, Casey Middlestead, you're slowly building your way back. I see you, my friend. Then, in the second period of the Detroit game, Cale Makar shows back up. What a goal by Cale to go up 2-0 at the point. Like, Cale Makar is generational. We know that. And this goes the same for Nathan MacKinnon. When they go quiet, it speaks loudly. So for Cale Makar to score a goal in the old Cale Makar style, I'm all for it. Like that was a huge energy boost to the team. And I hope Cale can start building off this because he was assisted by Nate and Mikko on that goal. And when you get the big three, the new big three of Nate, Mikko, and Cale rolling, you know good things will happen. And Lucas Raymond eventually put it 2-1, but that Detroit game was good. The Avs had some confidence and some mojo. And I want to read you this stat verbatim because I don't want you to miss this, and I want you to take this episode and clip it right here for this one part. Colorado Avalanche power play against Detroit, 1-for-1. Ooh, that's nice. But wait, there's more. Colorado Avalanche penalty kill. They killed off Detroit's one lone power play. So the penalty kill and the power play, beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see when it comes to special teams. Granted, it did not translate when it came to the New Jersey game, where not much was going on in special teams. It's a little floundery at times in New Jersey, but special teams were a key point in the Detroit game. Faceoffs were abysmal. Uh, um, 37.3% for Colorado on the faceoffs. So you want to improve on that, but I mean, a win's a win, and you're going to carry that every day of the week, especially against Detroit, where it just means more. Like SEC football, it just means more. And now to transition to the New Jersey game, as I take a sip of this, good old fashioned H2O. I'm not used to having to talk this much. My goodness, we got to do this all week. Thank you guys for joining us this far. This means a lot, and we're making Chris enjoy his vacation. We're going to carry this through. The Avalanche they're winning games. If they keep up like this, Chris doesn't have to come back. We got it. We got it, Chris. We're good. But focusing on this New Jersey game, New Jersey's been playing really, really, really well. Nico Heischer has been having himself a year. Jack Hughes is starting to figure it out a little bit. Like both Hugheses are starting to figure it out. Like they're looking good. They're getting Dawson Mercer. Like the Devils are looking all right. And the Metro is really tough. And the Devils are really making a claim that they are legitimate this year, especially with Sheldon Keefe behind the bench. Like they believe in what they're doing in New Jersey. So Colorado coming off that big emotional win in Detroit. Excuse me. Coming off that emotional win in Detroit, like Georgie really pulling out all the stops and allowing the Avalanche to have a foothold in that game and steal a win on the road. That meant a lot to this team, especially everything that's been going on. The Hurricanes game. This is what you want to see. And then they're going to New Jersey, a tough place to play. It's a rowdy bunch in the Prudential Center. And to carry it over and look like the team that has the fresher legs was surprising to me. This game was never in doubt. And Ross Colton led the way right off the bat with a beautiful goal, assisted by, again, these are names that I'm purposely putting here and reading verbatim so you know. Ross Colton's goal, assisted by Casey Middlestead and Valeri Nichushkin. Even though I know Casey's had a little bit of a slump, he's contributing. He's doing the right things. Nuke, he's doing the little things. He's working his way back. He's looking both guys are looking really, really good right now. And a name that you're not going to hear in the goal is Nathan McKinnon. Like he has not scored a goal. And this team is winning games. Like this is what you want to hear. Mikko did not score a goal in the New Jersey game. This is what you want to hear. Or both in the Detroit or New Jersey. The big names aren't there. Cale Makar scored, yes. But that's it. Keep riding with me. Goal number 2. Another guy who needed a goal in the worst way. LOC, his 4th of the year. Assisted by Calvin DeHaan and Joel Kiviranta, who he still finds a way on the roster and still finds a way to contribute. And Kiwi is, I really enjoy his play when he gets the minutes out there and when he's doing things the right way. He's a difference maker. He's really good. He's not a poster player. He's not a my favorite player, but Kiwi, he does what he needs to do. He's really efficient out there, and I enjoy his play. Artturi Lehkonen in the 2nd, assisted by Casey Middlestead. Again, he's a thing. It's going to be all right. Let's not start slapping the panic button so quick. Parker Kelly with the empty netter at the end, assisted by Calvin DeHaan and Mikko Rantanen. Still getting his points, but this was a good game. Parker Kelly had a really, really efficient effort, and the Colorado Avalanche are finding their stride. How do I know this? 0 for 2 on the power play against New Jersey, but they killed off 3 New Jersey penalties, so we'll take that. But power play looked abysmal, and they're getting too many men on the ice calls again. So the Avalanche are humming like a beautiful machine. But the Avalanche success relies on the goaltending. What are we to believe about these two goalies? Let's take a good look at both goalies and what they could bring to the team. What does this mean going into Pittsburgh? Let's look at that after the break here on a Chrisless Locked On Avalanche. This episode is brought to you by Mint Mobile. There we go. Got it pulled up. Mint Mobile. And I love a great deal as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals just to save a few bucks. Well, it has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile said it was going to be easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I called them on it. Turns out it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider. And I know about breakups. To get started, go to mintmobile.com/LockedOnNHL. There you'll see that right now, all 3-month plans are just $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with your existing contacts. Find out how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get 3 months of premium wireless service for just $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your 3-month new premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LockedOnNHL. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNHL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNHL. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on a first 3-month plan only. Speed slower than 40 gigs on a ultimate unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. This episode is also brought to you by Game Time. And Chris is on vacation. The family, they're on the road. And we're all going to be visiting friends, family. It's the holidays. It's what you do. So we like going to live events. We like going to sporting events. And when you're with family and you want to get out of there, the best way to say, hey, why don't we pull up your Game Time app, suggest the Game Time picks. It filters out the fluff and shows you the incredible deals and the seats that you want, and you don't waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Pick an upcoming live event and browse through the seats with Game Time picks. You can also use the curated deals to make it easier to find the best price on the greatest seats. The super deals, the seat views before you buy, the lowest price guaranteed, events cancellation protection, job loss protection. Don't forget, Game Time picks, the seat views, all in pricing, lowest price guarantee, Game Time ticket coverage. These are all points that you could sell when you say, hey, why don't we go use the Game Time app? Take the guesswork. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today because what time is it? It's game time. Chris hates when I do that. All right, let's break down the goalie play. After the back-to-back, you had a good example of what both goalies can bring. Georgie had a 29 save outing against Detroit. He let one go, but no way near a 40 GF appearance. Scott Wedgwood a shutout against New Jersey. It's his former team. Maybe it's the Belmar thing, playing against your former team, you play a little bit more. You just give a little bit more effort, but let's break down these goalies real quick. And because I'm a psychopath like this, I have these tabs here that have their information and I watch it like a hawk and how it falls and rises with these performances. I'm just going to give you the numbers between the two goalies on the season and kind of temper or maybe enrage the two stances on the two goalies wherever you may lie. And we can talk about really what you think about these goalies more in depth on tomorrow's episode. I'm just going to lay this out here. Georgie on the 24-25 season, he's played 18 games. He's won 8. So that's 8 wins in 18 games. No shutouts. Just keep that in mind. 3.38 goals against average and an 874 save percentage. That's on this season. For the career, he's played 272 games. He's won 144. He's had 15 shutouts, so it has happened before. His goals against average in his career is 2.89. He has a 907 save percentage. Everybody remembers the Buffalo game that he had December 3rd, where it was 4 goals on 8 shots. Like, not ideal. But against Detroit, he had a 967 save percentage. It was a really good effort, and he played the whole game, and he gave the Avalanche a sense of confidence that they needed. Like, you could see when the team is confident and when they see the first, 5 shots get actually stopped and held out of the goal, you see the team play a whole lot different. You see the defense, instead of falling back so much, and they used to do this a lot with Francouz, they used to fall back and try and play extra goalie, like third breakfast. But you would see them try and overcompensate for the goalie play, and that's been the problem for this defense. I know it's looked shaky, but it's because they also feel like they have to protect their goalie. When they see the goalie has actually got their backs, they could turn their backs to the goalie and start actually doing their job and playing defense. And that's pivotal, getting out to these first period leads and carrying it through the game. If you could build it in that first period, good things can happen for this Avalanche team. And with that 967 that Georgie had the other night, that's what you want to see. Turning the tide on Scott Wedgwood. This season, now also understand he's played a couple games for Nashville. 8 games played, 3 wins, 1 shutout. Wonder where that came from. Goals against average, 2.82 this year. Save percentage of 906, which with a smaller sample size is pretty interesting. 906 save percentage, that's still positive. In his career, Wedgwood has played 138 games, 300 and some change less than Georgie. He has 51 wins, 7 shutouts, a career goals against average of 2.97, and his career save percentage is 906. That's exactly how much he's had this year with 906. He has a perfect 1 save percentage, 1.00 all the way to infinity against New Jersey on December 8th. Against Carolina, 882, which is, not ideal. That was not a great game at all, but it's the hand you're dealt. And then it gets deceptive a little bit when you start falling back on Wedgwood's save percentage because he came in relief in that Buffalo game and held his own. 22 saves, shutout, perfect 1. And then November 25th against the New Jersey Devils in a 15 save percentage, 15 shots against, he had a shutout against the Devils on this November 25th. So he's got it in him. He's a good closer, but it's like asking Mariano Rivera to be a starter. It's, do you want to do Inner Sandman as he's coming out there? Like, are you going to lose the appeal? He's a good 1B. He's a very efficient 1B and perfect for these back-to-back setups. And if Georgie could continue improving his play, I'm perfectly content with this 1A, 1B matchup. And whoever they start, if I don't have to worry about whoever's in net for the Avalanche going in, night out, I think that's a win. So this is good, all good reports coming from the Avalanche. Like, this is what you want from your goaltending. And we'll see what it looks like on Tuesday against Pittsburgh. And I'm sure we're going to address this a little bit more once I sleep on this effort. And we'll have morning leftovers on tomorrow's episode. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about the goalies and what you think. But for now, let's get a reading on what you thought this weekend and your sound check coming up next on our next segment. But we'll be back in just a second. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same place and same page where you place your bets. Join FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, we are going to finish it out in the final segment. We're going to go over and check on the citizens of Subtextia. I'm going to refresh this, make sure I got everybody's comments live and in living color. And again, thank you for joining us throughout the episode. It's been a pleasure to have you guys stick around and stick with me through the rest of the week. We'll get through this together. We'll have a mailbag segment. We'll have more of your input. I'll scan the comments, and especially the subtexters, they get priority. And that's where we're going to start with their comments over on subtext. We're going to start with Brandon, who says, finally, a good day for our defense and goalie. And his suggestion for sound check is Time Flies When You're Having Fun. Time Flies When You're Having Rum by Pirates for Sale. That's a lot of puns. Brandon, perfect. Yes, it's a good day for defense and goalie, and they thrive off each other's success. So when the goalie's having a good day, the defense is usually having a good day, and the forwards are also benefiting. That's why you're seeing depth scoring, because of the contributions of defense and goalie. Let's go to K. Best game of the season? Question mark. Maybe. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, K. And I'm happy to have the gift of a stress-free win. Everyone looked great tonight. I just hope Nate can get his scoring mojo back soon, because he's been so close. I agree. Happy birthday, Kay. I would sing a song, but I can't. Best game all season? In recent memory, yes. Best game of December? Absolutely. Really having to rack my mind here to think back farther, because usually I do a lot of my thinking when Chris is talking, and I don't have another game that comes to mind that really stands out. Like, this Devils game felt like beginning to end a 60-minute effort, and I guess they really good opponents. So I might side with you there, Kay. Let's see. I don't have your name on here. So when you hit me back tomorrow on subtext, drop your name so I can get you on the next episode. But this is your comment, so ride with me on a wave of consciousness. So logically, Chris was jinxing the Avs goaltending. Yeah, Chris. If he stays in Florida, that means Colorado doesn't need to trade for a new goalie. Tell him Universal is nice. Maybe go there next. Yeah, Chris. Why don't you go to Hogwarts, Chris? No. We had a joke. Me and Chris were joking about this, that he said, watch there be a big trade or the Avs start really playing good when I go. And look at there. Ross Colton comes back. like immediately from injured reserve into the starting lineup, and Avs look good on a back to back. So enjoy your time down there. Dip your toes in the pool. The Avs are doing all right, bud. Oh, captain, my captain. Craig. Craig says it's always nice to see a shutout go the Avs' favor. All the guys worked hard for that one. Sound check, Tying Knots in The Devil's Tale by Coulter Wall. Coulter Wall, great artist. Love Coulter's sound. Yeah, nice to see a shutout go the Avs' favor. I don't think the Avs have had a shutout yet. But now that Wedgwood has one, now it's Georgie's turn. Go get you one, son. But yeah, I agree. And great sound check pick. Cody says it doesn't matter how mediocre the the Red Wings are. It's always good putting them in their place. Absolutely agreed. You could paint the Avalanche logo on the back of a turtle and a Red Wings logo on the back of a turtle, and I will cheer violently for that race. I do not like the Red Wings. I'll give Georgie his flowers for a good game, and I'll most likely want it back by next Thursday. And the comment continues. And let me follow. I'm homeschooled. Remembered, I was homeschooled in Alabama. So give me a second to read. I'll give Georgie his flowers for a good game, and I'll mostly want that back next Thursday. And then I like the depth scoring that the Avs had in New Jersey, and Wedgwood got a shutout, which I think is the first shutout this season. I think you are correct, Cody. I think this might be the first, but you guys that are listening can Google it faster than I can while I'm doing a show. So if I'm wrong, oh well, tell me tomorrow. But I believe it is. I don't think they've had one yet this year. And Katie gives us a sound check, and drum roll, please. Wonderwall by Oasis, because Wedgwood was amazing. I play guitar, and that's one of the songs I purposely have not learned because everybody knows that song. But it is a fantastic meme, and I use it all the time. And I guess now that we've gone through the citizens of Subtextia and got all of their opinions on the games and sound check submissions, I guess it's time for mine. And if you're a new listener to the podcast, for one, I'm sorry. It's a lot better with Chris. Two, you hear us talking about Soundcheck. Well, Soundcheck is a playlist that Chris and I have compiled over on Spotify, where we take our thoughts and the vibes of the game, put it in song form, and it's how we kind of put a bow on the game. And we will do one for New Jersey. I will. Chris is in bed, being happy and with his family. I'll throw mine out there. And if you want to follow this playlist, you can find it on Spotify. Just search LOA volume number 4 tonight. Also, if you've followed this show for a long time, if you're one of the OG everydayers, you know that I also enjoyed the Devils. They are my team in the East. I enjoy the Devils very much. So the Avs absolutely dismantled the New Jersey Devils. So my sound check for tonight would be Beelzebos by Tenacious D. Because I can't say a lot about how the Avalanche handled this game, but it was domination. Like it was. I'm going to have to really think about this, and we're going to address this tomorrow in the morning leftovers. But I think this, and I agree with the comments on subtext. Like, this was one of their better games we've had in quite some time. And I want to see this carry over to the Penguins game. So we'll see if they can continue with this momentum, or if it's one of those where they take the foot off the gas now that they start believing in what they're doing. But I really like this effort. So positive things all around. A successful back-to-back on the road with both goaltenders. Who would have thought? I did not have this on my bingo card either. So thank you very much for joining us on today's episode of Locked On Avalanche. Again, I am your host for the week, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom. It's been an honor to have you guys around, and please join me again tomorrow. We're going to do more of the morning leftovers. We're going to look forward to that Penguins game a little bit, and I'll also handle comments and questions that you might have. We're going to throw out a mailbag sometime this week, and I'll answer whatever questions you guys might have around the Avalanche or whatever you want to ask. But thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. I'm Kyle Sullivan. I'm not going to talk about Sidney Crosby because I do not want him as a member of the Avalanche. If you want to talk about that, you got to join us over on Subtext. Link to that is in the show notes below. But I will see everyone again tomorrow on Locked On Avalanche.